So good afternoon, everybody, and a day before holiday. Thank you for being here. I was walking around campus, and it looked awfully thin out there today, with tomorrow being a holiday, and it's great that we have a good audience. So UCLA is extremely proud to be a partner in the Blackstone LaunchPad Southern California Initiative, and I'm delighted to welcome our partners from Blackstone who are here today. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your attendance and your great support for this initiative. We thank you for your vision and leadership. We look forward to working together with Blackstone and our other partners in the region to advance the entrepreneurial landscape and the overall economic well-being of this region and the state more generally. You know, I'm always frustrated when we have students, wonderful students, who graduate, and the next thing you blink, there's some other part of the United States or some other part of the world, and that's wonderful that we're spreading all this expertise, but wouldn't it be so much nicer if more of this activity was generated right here in the Los Angeles area? There's certainly lots of people who need jobs here, good jobs, and this type of entrepreneurial spirit, when applied to Los Angeles, can make a difference. So one of our core missions as a public university is to serve the public interest, and that includes making positive contributions to the well-being of the public. And as I said, locally, especially, I'm concerned about, but obviously all over the country. With that mission in mind, the Blackstone LaunchPad truly strikes me as a perfect fit for UCLA and a perfect time in UCLA's history. We're in the process of developing an exciting campus-wide entrepreneurial ecosystem, an ecosystem that includes not just faculty innovators, but also students. So this innovative ecosystem, one reason I'm excited about it is, of course, it's going to be great for our faculty who are inventors, but it's also going to engage our students in new and meaningful ways, which will make a difference, I think, in their careers really forever. We encourage our students to embrace the entrepreneurial spirit in all of its manifestations, whether it's high-tech or biotech or bricks-and-mortar entrepreneurship. And we believe that the Blackstone LaunchPad will become foundational in UCLA's efforts to integrate students into the entrepreneurial ecosystem we're fostering here on campus. So this is really a critical link that's being established today. Throughout UCLA's history, which is 95 years and counting, it's a young university, and as I always point out, not to brag, if you look at the 10, 12 best universities, highest ranked universities in the world, we're the only one in that group that's actually less than 100 years old. So this is really a very young university, so it's totally appropriate that a young university have a great entrepreneurial spirit. It's also a big university, California's largest university in terms of the number of students, with an operating budget just under $6 billion. We're among the top 5 employers in the Southern California regions. This is also a big business. We employ thousands of people, and we have direct financial impact. But of course, what we're talking about today is not just the direct financial impact, but the ripple effects of creating this new innovation around us. For several years now, we've received about $1 billion in competitively awarded research grants, which places us among the top universities in terms of bringing in grant funds. So this place is really research writ large in terms of the number of thousands of research grants, and the total dollars is impressive. In raw numbers, I think we have 3,700 active research awards currently and some 5,500 research projects involving about 4,000 faculty. And that's an extraordinary number, and that's why so many of our undergraduates get opportunities to do independent research, working in labs, working in programs in the social sciences, and scholarly work in the humanities. There's so much scholarship going on, it provides enormous opportunities for undergraduates. All told, UCLA's estimated annual economic impact in California, direct and indirect, is a substantial 95,000 jobs, $5.5 billion in employee compensation, $12.7 billion in economic output, and $1.8 billion in federal, state, and local tax revenues. So we have a huge footprint here in the Los Angeles area. I'm convinced the Blackstone LaunchPad will help to further stimulate and energize UCLA's already dynamic research and entrepreneurial enterprise. So once again, I want to thank our partners, Blackstone LaunchPad, for believing in us and investing in us. Thank you for being here and including UCLA in this very valuable program. We're really proud to be a partner. And now I'd like to turn the proceedings over to the UCLA Dean and Vice Provost for the Division of Undergraduate Education, Pat Turner. Dr. Turner.
Thank you, Chancellor Block. I want to add my welcome to all of you. I have been UCLA's Dean and Vice Provost of Undergraduate Education for just under 2 years, and when I came on board, I was so pleased when I learned that UCLA had embarked on the process with the Blackstone Foundation around bringing to our campus what I knew my colleague and counterpart at the University of Miami had launched there. And if you were paying attention to the video before we got started, you saw Bill Green, who was one of the architects of the original LaunchPad, presented. So the presence of this, which has been a couple of years in the making for us with our partners, has really come together nicely in a way that will be so beneficial to our students here at UCLA. As the Chancellor mentioned, we are California's largest university. Our enrollment exceeds 40,000 undergraduate and graduate students, so we have so much potential to have a significant footprint on the strength of the economy of California. I'm pleased that we're able to partner with others in our region, and those of you who are from our region know we all get a little bit uneasy when we have to ask if the traffic prevented people from getting here. So did any of our partners from Irvine make it yet? Are you here in the room? Yay! Woo! Go Anteaters! USC? I don't know if I can say go Trojans. The Los Angeles Development Council? Yeah. The traffic gods were with us all around. Terrific. This is so exciting to partner with these other agencies and really create a resource that will be greater than any one of us could have managed on our own. Our mission as a public university has always focused on improving California, where we've got that land grant roots, and that makes so much sense now with the LaunchPad. Establishing here at UCLA will contribute to that mission by complementing the current programs at our campus designed to foster entrepreneurship, such as accelerators for student startups, a social enterprise academy, technology transfer programs, and large entrepreneurial student organizations. The student organizations here are often ahead of us on this curve. I've seen firsthand the entrepreneurship drive our students have, and this afternoon you will hear from one of the founders of Enru, where I will be doing most of my holiday shopping, who, while still students at UCLA, launched their company that proves that a for-profit model can be entirely compatible with the pursuit of social justice and economic development. That's the UCLA way. We've also and when I say just, within the past 2 weeks, approved a new minor in entrepreneurship. Is Dean Al Osborne, figure somebody who only had to come from on campus, has not made it here yet. But if you see Al during the reception, please congratulate him, because he and our colleagues in the Anderson School worked with the College of Letters and Sciences to develop a really fine minor for our students. They'll be accepting applications in a few weeks, so we really look forward to that. It is now my pleasure to welcome from Blackstone, Sean Madnani, Senior Managing Director.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming. I won't keep my comments very long. I'll try and be brief. But I have to say, first and foremost, I'm very, very, very proud to see this many people turn up for the event. It truly fills me with excitement. Before I talk a little bit about the program and what we're trying to accomplish here, I do want to obviously thank Chancellor Block and Dean Turner for hosting this event and really supporting this initiative. It means a lot to Blackstone, and it means a lot to the community. It also, for those who don't know, means a lot to Blackstone as a firm that the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, as well as Peter Marks, the CTO of the city of Los Angeles, have been instrumental in getting Blackstone LaunchPad up and running. From our perspective, today's launch really completes our SoCal mission and sets it on the right path. As you're likely aware, the Blackstone LaunchPad in SoCal is a partnership between UCLA, USC, and UCI, as well as the LA EDC. From our perspective, this is a huge accomplishment to get all organizations working in tandem and supporting our goal of entrepreneurship. Taking a step back, personally, I'm here on behalf of Steve Schwartzman, the chairman, founder, and CEO of Blackstone, as well as Amy Stursberg, who's the executive director of the Charitable Foundation at Blackstone. We have spent enormous amounts of time doing due diligence around the country on different organizations, different universities, where we wanted LaunchPad to be part of the system and part of the social fabric. It is with great pleasure that I say, as a graduate of the UC system, that here in SoCal, there is no better place for entrepreneurship to be booming. So we really have huge expectations for what can be accomplished out of this program, out of UCLA, USC, and UCI together for students and entrepreneurs alike. By a show of hands, how many people in this room consider themselves entrepreneurs? Wow, that's more than I expected, but I expect to see exponentially more next year when I come back, right? Good. One of the things, as growing up in the UC system as a student, I wish I had this opportunity to really understand that it's okay to be an entrepreneur and that it's a good thing and it's possible to really contribute to society with strong mentorship and strong support. Unfortunately, when I was in school, we didn't have this program, so I'm hoping that the students can really benefit from this. I think also one of the things to note, and I've talked to several people in the room about this earlier today, is that entrepreneurship, for whatever reason in California, many people think is synonymous with technology and app development, which I think is a great avenue to pursue, but there's many other avenues for entrepreneurship. So I think it's important that we think about entrepreneurship being everything from manufacturing to construction to technology and everything in between. Our hope is that Blackstone LaunchPad truly is a forum for entrepreneurship to bloom in this society. So with that, I'll conclude my remarks by just saying I'm extremely proud to be here. I'm extremely proud to be part of this event. I expect big things out of the Southern California region by way of entrepreneurship, and we're proud supporters of the university and of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Welcome, everyone. My name is Deanna Evans, and I'm the Executive Director of Entrepreneurial Programs for StartUp UCLA. And that translates to I'm the Executive Director for the Blackstone LaunchPad at UCLA. I'm very pleased to introduce our next guest speaker, John Congdon. John is President and co-founder of Beachbody LLC. He graduated from UCLA and holds a degree in political science with an emphasis in American constitutional law and international relations. John helps guide the mission of Beachbody and works to drive its vision and growth. The company has grown from just a few $1 million in revenue in 2000 to almost $1 billion in 2014, with most employees working at the Santa Monica, California headquarters. Thank you for keeping everyone here, John. John's entrepreneurial career and success with Beachbody illustrates the Bruin entrepreneurial spirit that we are dedicated to supporting in the Blackstone LaunchPad at UCLA. Please give John a warm Bruin welcome.
Thank you. And I want to echo the comments of Sean. I wish something like this had existed when I went to UCLA, and I've run into a couple of old friends here today. One of whom is sitting right here, Scott. And we were talking about how great it would have been if something like this were here, and how when we graduated from UCLA, we were products of this really great liberal arts education, very well educated, but incredibly under-equipped to go out and deal with some of the real-world issues that face young graduates. And I think right now, in this environment, in this country, it's especially tough. It's especially tough for kids getting out of college who have had great educations to figure out what to do next. And to have a sounding board to have people who you can come and talk to propose ideas, to discuss your ideas with, and even other students to discuss your ideas with, to figure out the merits of those ideas, whether they be great ideas or ideas that are going to fall flat on their face. And by the way, falling flat on your face is one of the great things an entrepreneur can learn young in their life, and that is that you must fail to move forward and succeed. But to have something like this is really a wonderful thing, and I wish it had been around when I was a student. As it turns out, it wasn't, and I went into the world a little bit green. In fact, I thought business and entrepreneurialism were very much the same thing. So my first job out of UCLA was to work for Procter & Gamble in the food products division, which is about the most un-entrepreneurial environment one can possibly go into. They had about a 90-year-old training program, management training program, which was designed to move you one step at a time, very slowly through the ranks of management until eventually, at the age of 55, you might be eligible for president. They had never hired anybody as a CEO or president from outside the company, and the whole idea was to gradually march your way up that ladder until you could become the head of the company or wherever you ended up being. And after about a month at that company, I looked at the guy whose job I was hoping to have in 30 years, and I just thought, that's not exactly the path that I want. But I decided to stick around and learn something about the way a successful company, by the way, and I don't mean to badmouth Procter & Gamble. It's a great company, and it was a great company, and there was a lot to learn there about how a successful company operates. It just wasn't for me. And I realized that business and entrepreneurialism were different. So I took a different path, which led me eventually, after spending 2 years wandering around Central America while my father was wondering what I was up to, and frequently telling me that there was a gaping hole in my resume that I could never fill. And so I like to say that I sort of backed myself into the corner of having to start my own company because there was nobody left that would hire me. So when I got back, I became a school teacher for a little while, and essentially because I was writing and trying to make ends meet as a writer, but I needed a way to make some money. So I became a substitute teacher in the city of, in the Alhambra School District, and eventually got a job as a science teacher teaching full-time in Monterey Park, which was great, and I learned a lot there also. I learned everything that you do in life, of course, is preparing you for whatever comes next. But after 3 years of teaching, for number one, teaching was really not my life's ambition, although it was a wonderful thing, and I really enjoyed it. But it was not for me long term, and I also was incredibly tired of being incredibly poor. And I just wanted to try something new and something entrepreneurial, and I wanted to sort of branch out a little bit. And so I went and called a bunch of my UCLA buddies, and a couple of them responded with opportunities for me. And I took a job at the age of 33 at a company called Guthy-Renker, which is in Santa Monica also. It happens to be, I think, number 4 or 5 size private company in the Los Angeles area. And a good friend of mine had been hired there a few years before. And he brought me in and hired me, got me a little job in a little entrepreneurial unit that was a startup within that company that was already doing pretty good business. And that's where I met my business partner, Carl Deichler, who's my co-partner, my co-founder, and actually the chairman of the company that we founded in 1999, Beachbody. After a year and a half at Guthy-Renker, we decided to start our own business, and that is what became Beachbody. And it was just an idea. It was an idea that has evolved into something way beyond what we could have imagined at the time, but we were a couple of guys that really wanted to just go for it. We made a decision to start that company. We dialed for dollars at the time when all the companies that were .com plays were getting a lot of money. In 1999, it was before the bubble burst, 98. A lot of people were raising a lot of money with .com concepts. And we were out there basically pitching a direct response television marketing concept that really, other than having a website, was not a .com play. So it took us about 4 months longer than we wanted to raise our $500,000 seed money of angel investors and get the ball rolling. But since then, it's been very interesting. We started out as a very simple fitness concept, marketing, and this is really the truth, not an 8-minute ab workout, but a 7-minute ab workout. And as anybody has ever seen something about Mary, actually my business partner was the creator of 8-Minute Abs. So we really did go knock off his own product from before and call it 7-Minute Abs. We also created leg workouts, arm workouts, everything else selling on spot. And we struggled along for a while, and he and I both had to consult and do whatever it would take to keep the lights on until 2001, when a product called Power 90 that we had created actually hit. And we created a half-hour infomercial for that product, and we went from $5 million in revenue in 2000 to $36 million in revenue in 2001 with the hit of that product. The next year we were generating some pretty good revenue, but we came up with another product which was similar to Power 90, which is a 90-day in-home boot camp, and we came up with Slim in 6, which is a 6-week in-home workout program. And that one worked, and Power 90 was on TV, and Slim in 6 was on TV, and the next year we came up with another product that did okay, and the year after that we came out with a product called Turbo Jam, and the company began to grow. When we started, we were subletting from Guthrie Ranker, who remain our friends to this day, and eventually we were able to grow and mature to the point where we could actually hire professionals besides ourselves to run a company, because as you know, or you may know, entrepreneurs sometimes are not the best managers when they start out. But rather than hand over management of the company, we decided that we wanted to evolve with our company, take what we were learning, and try to become great managers of a company that was growing, rather than the kind of entrepreneurs that create a company and then ditch it over to somebody who could manage the company more professionally, people with actual MBAs and stuff. So we decided to manage ourselves and evolve, and that probably has been the richest experience of my life, is deciding to evolve with my company rather than sort of reach my limits as a young entrepreneur and hand it off to somebody else. The point of all this really is that 2 years before I started Beachbody, I was a part-time, grossly underqualified school teacher, and then I was able to start a company, and by sticking with it, grow it to where Beachbody is today, which is, by the way, employing almost 700 people in Southern California, many of whom are UCLA, UCI, and USC graduates, and has grown to, as you said before, we're probably going to top $1 billion in revenue this year, which is all really exciting. But again, the real point is that we were no less or more qualified than any other entrepreneur out there who decides to start a company. We just decided to go for it. And that choice, of course, has changed both of our lives and the lives of a lot of people who work with us ever since. But it sure would have been great if we had had somebody there to help us sort of mesh out our ideas and understand what was going to work and what wasn't going to work. It sure would have been great if, when I graduated from UCLA, I knew what being an entrepreneur really meant, because I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't just want to be in business. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I just think that if Blackstone and what they've done here, and by the way, I think it's a really great thing that you guys are doing, providing this platform for young students to sort of follow their dreams and follow their ideas. If this comes to fruition and people come in and get to try their ideas and use other people around them and mentors to grow their ideas into actual thriving businesses, if only one business a year out of UCLA becomes a real company that employs people, then it has really done something great for the community and for this economy and this country, as a matter of fact. So first of all, I applaud you for doing that. And I think that having a platform like this to help students grow and mature into young business people is fantastic. So thank you very much for what you've done. I'm gonna close my remarks in one moment, but I was really excited to walk around the outside of this room, and if you have a moment, I suggest that you do the same and meet some of the young entrepreneurs here who have some really neat ideas, some of which are already succeeding, some of which will probably succeed, and maybe one or two will not succeed at all, but they're all going for it. And I think that's really, if there's one thing that you take away with you today, is we need to give people the tools to go for it and the confidence to try what they need to do to make a young company grow or to even get it off the ground, because it just doesn't happen unless you go for it and you try. So thank you very much for having me here. I encourage you to meet the other entrepreneurs because they're the real stars of the room today. And thanks a lot.
Thank you, John. I love your growth mindsets, and I hope that everyone takes it to heart, especially those students who are developing their ideas, and that they stop by the Launchpad so that we can help them develop their ideas. I'm pleased to introduce our final guest speaker, Ann Wang, co-founder and CEO of Enru, and the recent Forbes Under 30 Pitch Competition winner. Ann recently graduated with a degree in International Development Studies from UCLA. Ann and her co-founder, Jessica Wilson, were in the 2014 StartUp UCLA Summer Accelerator 10-week program. And during our soft launch this summer, Enru received Blackstone LaunchPad consulting services. We were so excited when Enru was invited to attend the Blackstone LaunchPad Demo Day in New York City, and we saw Ann pitch to Blackstone executives on October 28th. I have seen firsthand the time, the energy, and the thoughtfulness that Ann and Jessica have put into the creation of Enru, and I'm very proud to welcome Ann. Please give her a warm Bruin welcome.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Okay. All right, so I'm actually just gonna stand over here if you guys have any questions. Hold on one second. All right, so as Deanna mentioned, my name is Ann Wang and I'm the CEO of Enru. So I worked a lot in international development, and through my work, I've met some incredible people, just like Multi. She was just 16 years old when she was on the streets of India, digging through trash, with no opportunity to build a future for herself. So how can people who want to create a global impact and impact her life positively do so locally in their everyday lives? And Enru is the solution. Derived from the idea of being en route towards a better world, Enru is an online, content-driven marketplace for the socially conscious consumer to discover products that are created in developing communities all around the world. So our goal is to educate, inspire, and activate individuals to both shop and share with a purpose. So now you can find beautiful jewelry from Laos, freshly roasted coffee from Rwanda, one-of-a-kind home goods from northern Uganda, and this skirt, all on our site. Our goal is to empower consumers to reduce global poverty on a massive level in their everyday lives with every single purchase. So how does it work? We begin by partnering with organizations that are on the ground providing programs for people just like Multi, like microfinancing, education, and health, and that employ the local community to create these beautiful one-of-a-kind products. Now, a weaver in Namibia who never really had any market access, let alone global market access, is able to sell and connect with consumers both here in the US and abroad. This allows us to connect suppliers and consumers in one central place that provides a revolutionary shopping experience. So there are other brands that are tackling a similar issue, but what we've seen is a major disconnect between the consumer and understanding how their purchase actually makes that real-life impact. We know that it's going to be our unique experience, one-of-a-kind impact, and most importantly, our captivating content that is going to allow us to create an immersive and revolutionary experience online. What makes us truly different is our social core mission. This allows us to create captivating content that is already inherently social and viral. One-of-a-kind photos, amazing videos, and compelling stories allow us to immerse the consumer in a virtual experience that shows them who created their product, where that product was created, and most importantly, see how their purchase directly invests in an individual and their community for generations to come. For example, this bracelet you can buy on our site is actually created in Laos, and it's recycled from balm material that's been dropped in the local area. So when you purchase, you not only invest in the individual who created the beautiful piece, you also provide support for the program that de-bombs the local area, creating a safer community for everybody there. This engaging content allows us to build a strong foundation of brand ambassadors and excited consumers. We know that reducing global poverty means providing opportunity. We've already been able to impact over 2,000 people, work in 30 different communities, both here in the US and abroad, and tackle issues like poverty, women empowerment, and education. So we're targeting millennials that are a little bit older, 23 to 36, who spend about $200 billion every single year. 3.5% of that is spent on products that you would find similar to on our site, and 50% of people are looking for ways to vote with their dollar by supporting social impact brands. This leads us to our $3.5 billion market size, which we plan on addressing through three main components outside of our content creation. First is strategic partnerships. We're already partnering with other activism and social impact brands that allow us to reach the earliest adopters and build a strong foundation of ambassadors. Next, we're building an influencer network with celebrities working with CAA and UTA, as well as social influencers to help tell our story and expand our impact on a national level. Lastly, we're working with other distribution networks like Amazon and eBay to help expand our market reach and continue to tell our story on multiple platforms. So with just $5,000, freshly out of UCLA, and the support of StartUp UCLA and Blackstone, we were able to launch a beta site that tested the content and the products that people found the most engaging. We now have 250 active customers, we're revenue positive, are working with over 20 impact partners, and have a waiting list of organizations that are excited to work with Enru in the future. Plus, we've been featured in a number of publications like the Huffington Post, LA Times, and the Boston Globe. And as Deanna mentioned, we were just in the last month chosen as one of the top 5 companies in the nation to present at the Forbes 30 Under 30 Summit. And we're blessed and lucky enough to say that we won. So the prize, yeah. So the prize package included an equity investment by Steve Case and Troy Carter, and an in-kind advertising budget from Forbes Media. So we're really thankful for that, and we're excited that we've also been a part of just so many other great programs that have helped us really launch Enru to where it is now, as you've seen Chick Launcher and StartUp UCLA. So our dynamic team has strong backgrounds in user design, in fashion and marketing, and in our platform technology build. They've worked at organizations or at companies like Evernote, Refinery29, and Amazon, and of course, we've chosen LA because it is such a great place where fashion really collides with a conscious lifestyle and an emerging tech community. And of course, UCLA is here, so we never leave. So we're so excited to really tackle what Enru is able to do on a national and global level. What's happening next? Well, we're starting our seed investment round right now to help us develop the technology and expand the total global reach. We're looking for, my team is talking to me. Work never stops. That's just a real life example of all the work that we do. So we're looking to, of course, build our seed round right now to help us develop a national level launch of March of 2015. This will allow us to really release new innovations and impact on the site, and most importantly, get a larger impact level nationally. So we're looking for investors and advisors with strong backgrounds in social impact investing and marketing and customer acquisition, again, to help us get to that launch. All right. Today, in your hands, you hold the opportunity to join us en route towards a better world. And actually, you have an opportunity to be a part of that right now. So we are releasing our newest line and campaign tomorrow. So you guys are the first to actually see that we're releasing this stuff. So if you go on our Facebook, we're starting a social campaign through Thunderclap, if you guys have ever heard it. So if you go on our Facebook, please go on, like our page, and the first post that you'll see that we did is through Thunderclap. And if you go on Thunderclap, it's just kind of like crowdsourcing for social media. You get to click on it and say, yes, I want to support Enru, and everybody who's a part of this campaign will release the same status at the same time tomorrow at 5 o'clock tomorrow. And this will really help us release completely new products, new stories, new impact, and help us provide even more support and impact for individuals across the world. Thank you so much, and Rue is all about empowering you to empower others.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne. You and Jessica are truly an inspiration to us all. I'd like to take this time to introduce the Blackstone LaunchPad team, as well as to thank those who have really helped us get to this point. And to begin with, the first person I'd like to introduce and thank is Dean Alessandro Durante, Social Sciences Dean, who helped us with the Startup UCLA creation 2 years ago. And we would not be here today without his support. In addition, we have our faculty advisors and co-founders of Startup UCLA, Jim Stigler, Professor of Psychology and Associate Dean, and Tim Groeling, Professor and Chair of Communication Studies. In addition to our team, I'd like to introduce Jaime Balboa, who is the Executive Director of Communications, Academic Planning, and External Partnerships in undergraduate education. And Jaime is, he is going to be one of our venture consultants who's going to be, his focus is going to be on nonprofit and social entrepreneurs. And we hope to be able to steal him away for a couple of hours a month to help the students. In addition, Robert Jadon, Director of the Startup UCLA Summer Accelerator, is our Senior Venture Consultant. Robin Lee, Venture Consultant for the Blackstone LaunchPad and for the Startup UCLA Summer Accelerator. RJ Jimenez, Program Coordinator and Venture Consultant for the Blackstone LaunchPad. And I know RJ is probably running around, so we should thank him as well. And a big thank you for our student fellows, Michael Reed and Gibson Hahn, our student interns, Matthew Shepard, Siyu Chen, and Claire Huang. And thank you to our special guests this afternoon, Chancellor Block, Dean Turner, Sean Madani, and John Congdon and Ann Wang. You have made this a very special event by your presence here. Thank you so much. And thank you to the student and alumni startups who are showcasing their products. We have Endeavors, Enru, Helios, HypeHun, and Talkly. During the reception, please stop by and see their demonstrations. I am thankful for so many people who have helped me in planning and preparation for opening our Blackstone LaunchPad program this year. It has been a tremendous year for us with getting this program underway, and I could not have done it without the support from UCLA, the Blackstone Charitable Foundation, the University of Miami's LaunchPad, LEEDC, UCI, and USC. Yes, even USC. In fact, they are great travelers. I've been to Miami and New York with them, and they're fun. So we're really looking to being able to collaborate with both USC and UCI. And I have a special thank you to RJ and to Chang Tian and our student fellows and interns. They put a tremendous amount of thought and effort into making this grand opening a wonderful event for everyone here. And you guys have done an awesome job. Thank you so much.